Hi everyone, my name is Maggie, and I'm here to give a lightning talk on how to contribute to open source as a code newbie. Just a little bit about me before we start. I'm a software developer. I'm also an open source contributor and mentor, and I have about 1.5 years of open source experience. So I love this topic, and I'm so excited to be talking about it. So let's start by defining what open source is. So open source is basically when an app's code is publicly available online for others to view, use, or change. And a lot of these projects will actually allow outside contributors, including code newbies. So why should you contribute to open source, right? How will this benefit you? Personally, I think there are a lot of good reasons. You're going to learn a lot and gain experience in software development. So you're going to learn what it's like to work within a software cycle. And you can use this to your advantage by including it on your resume, your LinkedIn, and even talk about it in job interviews. You'll also learn how to work remotely with team members across the world. So it'll give you remote work experience. And you can use this if you're applying to remote jobs. You'll be able to meet new people with similar interests, find mentors who can guide you along your journey, gain new opportunities. So I was able to get an internship and a contract by being involved with an open source project. And then you get to give back to the tech community. So it's a good feeling. Okay, assuming that I've piqued your interest, let me give you a few more details.
Hey, Maggie.
So, yes.
I just want to let you know that we don't see your screen.
No, really?
No worries.
Oh no, you're missing out on my memes. Let me try that again. Wow. Okay, so can you see my screen now? Probably should have asked that at the beginning. Can you guys see my screen? Let's see. Yes, okay. Well, let us see. Let's go back. Okay, so I guess I'll just start off where I left. So how do you find an open source project, right? That's the first thing you're going to want to do when you're looking to contribute to open source. So these are 2 general tips that I've used and that have been successful for others. So doing some research. So a tip that I picked up was just Googling your interest and open source project. So if you're interested in like social justice, you can Google social justice open source projects. And then just ask around. So in the communities you're a part of or tech Twitter. And it's okay if it actually takes you time to find a project. It took me about 2 months to find one that I liked and I knew that my skills would be an asset to. So assuming you found a project, now what? So the first thing you're going to want to do is explore the repository. And a repository is just basically where all the files are located. So GitHub, GitLab are examples. Then you're going to want to check out the project's README file, which is usually a brief intro to the project, or the contribute MD file, which will explain the contribution process. Join the chat room if they have one, introduce yourself and ask any questions you have. And then you want to determine how you want to contribute. So the reason I say this is that there are actually a lot of different ways to contribute to open source. So you can do your typical Q&A, so like bug fixing, discovering and reporting bugs, testing features. You can also propose and add features. Documentation, so writing, editing, and translating. So if you're fluent in another language and you see that a project doesn't have their documentation in that language, you can propose to work on that. UX design and more. So it really just depends on every project because every project is different and what their needs are. And once again, you do not have to be an expert in any of these, except probably translating. But you know, people with different skills and different skill levels contribute to open source. So don't let that stop you. Let's see. So for the next few slides, I'm going to actually go over how to contribute code to open source. And this will require a bit of Git knowledge. So I highly recommend that if you don't know Git, you know, maybe go through a tutorial or put up a small project so you're able to understand the basic workflow and the basic commands. And once again, you don't have to be an expert in Git. No one really is. You'll learn along the way. So the first thing that you're going to do is fork and clone the project's repo. get the app running on your machine. So most repos will actually have a setup guide. And then choose an issue from the repo to work on. So this is assuming that you want to do a bit of bug fixing. And, for example, if the project is hosted on GitHub, they'll actually have a section called issues with the list of the issues. And most of these issues will have tags on them, like good first issue or beginner. So that's an easy way for you to choose an issue. And then you're going to want to create a branch in the repo. And a branch is basically just a separate space from the project where you can code up your solution. And they're going to code up your solution, test and test till you're confident, and then push the changes. And the last basic step is creating a PR or a pull request. And what this is a space for you to let the code maintainers know, hey, I have the solution, it fixes this issue, this is what I did, and they can actually leave you a PR review or feedback. And then your solution is merged. So I can totally understand, because I just threw a lot of information at you. So I can totally understand if you're still a bit nervous to start. So I have a solution for you. There are actually internship programs that are centered around open source. So, they provide mentorship throughout the process. And I participate in Outreachy, so I can always answer any questions regarding that. And these are a few other programs that are available. And that's it. Go forth and conquer. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And I'm sorry about the snafu at the beginning, but thank you, Mintbean, for allowing me to be here.